back to I Love Me podcast. This is another video podcast episode, and I'm so excited for this episode. So, I recorded the previous episode in my living room, and I saw that the video, like the lighting and all, is really good in my living room, but I couldn't, see myself clearly in that video. So, I thought I'll record myself in my room itself, and I'm really comfortable here. So, in this episode, we are going to talk about mental health as the month of May is observed as the mental health month. So, I'm going to talk about mental health in this episode. I was really scared, and I don't know, how to talk exactly about mental health because my mental health had been so bad, during many stages of my life, during many important stages of my life. And at that time, I didn't have anyone to tell me like all this which is happening with me is due to my bad mental health. When you're sick physically, you can tell your parents like my stomach is paining or my head is paining, but how do I tell my parents that my brain is not working, like I'm not doing mentally well? If you tell such things to Indian parents, they might think that you're crazy, like they say pagal hai kya. And that's what. And people call psychic, the psychiatrist, like doctors and everyone, the perception of India, like they are like crazy, dimag ka doctor, like all these things. But like with modernization and everything, people are actually coming forward and talking about mental health, which is such a good thing. And some countries have started, the people are started taking mental health leaves, and this month is observed as mental health month in US. I hope even India starts following, taking mental health seriously, because I think till the millennium generation, people never spoke about mental health. No matter what happened, they used to go to work, do everything. They should not even think, because all they thought about was working for their family, making money and everything. But if you see Gen Zs, they are so much aware about mental health. They literally, I mean, even going in therapy, at that time, I think during the millennial era, it was only the rich people used to go for therapy. But in today's time, the Gen Zs, you see every other person going in therapy. And going in therapy is not a bad thing, if you can afford it. Or nowadays, there are online platforms for therapy too. But honestly, I feel if you just have someone who you can talk to, who understands you, that's more than a therapy. People have found such different ways of therapy, having their favorite coffee or tea, or going out, or journaling, or so many other things they have termed as music therapy, or painting therapy, and that's a good thing. But if you are actually not doing well mentally, if you need medical guidance, then it's good to go to a certified therapist who can actually help you with your trauma. Basically, they start with the roots, like childhood trauma and everything. And honestly, I learned all about all this through podcasts. When I was not doing well mentally, I used to listen to podcasts, and that made me understand about the root cause for my bad mental health. I was a kid, I don't even remember, life was not just going properly. And I'm a big overthinker, and I overthink everything. And as a kid, I was an overachiever, always a topper, scoring high marks. And if I don't score good marks, I used to blame myself, like why didn't you do it? And that affected my mental health. When you're a kid, at that time it's okay, but as you start growing, after you're when you hit your teens, that time it becomes so messy. You don't understand what's happening, all the hormonal changes, you hit puberty, and this and that, with everything it gets so confusing. And you don't have anyone to talk to. At that time, during teenage, if you talk to your friends, it's like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Just chill, it's okay, it's normal, just find yourself a boyfriend or so. They just say such things, but that's not true. Just getting into a relationship or anything, it doesn't solve your mental health issue. I remember my first mental health encounter. I knew it was all about because of overthinking. I overthought so much. I remember at one point, I guess it was during my 9th standard, I was just too stressed thinking about so many things. And I was in my school, like, I don't know, I was sitting normally and I started crying. And like, I don't know why I'm crying. I just started crying, and all my friends came to me and they're comforting me and they asked me, why are you crying? But I don't know why I'm crying. I'm just crying and crying and crying, and I cannot stop. And then later I realized it's because when you suppress your emotions, when you keep all your thoughts, all the pain and trauma to yourself, it just comes out suddenly. It's like the outburst of trauma. It comes out in the form of anger or tears. And for me it was like, I cry a lot, I'm a very emotional person, and it came. And at that time I was quite young, and I was like maybe 14-year-old, yeah, in my ninth son. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening with me. Like, I had people, and at that time I remember my friend took me to one of the teacher in my school, and she consoled me. She like told me like, don't think about it too much. And I was crying and crying and crying, and after listening to her, like, she became my therapist. And after that she always used to check on me, and I'm really grateful for that teacher. She was my higher secondary school teacher, and yeah, she helped me at that time. And I remember telling her that whatever I'm going through, I can't even tell my parents. It's like, I don't know how to tell them because I myself don't know what I'm going through. So yeah, that was my first mental health encounter, I think. But even at that time I didn't actually realize what's happening with me. And it happened again. Next time when it happened, it was like same. It was, I guess, during my exam or something. I don't know. I was just stressed about something, and I was overthinking, and I got sick, and I was vomiting, and I was overthinking about so much stuff. And then I don't know. I just thought, like, I said to myself, stop overthinking, and I stopped vomiting. I swear to God. And I realized that it's our thoughts. Whatever we think happens. I was just thinking about, I'm sick, I can't do it, I can't give the test. But when I stopped thinking about it, I stopped vomiting. I was all right. I was all fine. And then I went to my classes and I gave the test. It's like, and that time I realized, like, how is it like important to control your thoughts? Because your thoughts create your reality. Like, I read in one book, a person is a product of his own thoughts. So from that time, even though I realized it, sometimes it's like when you have so much things going on, like exams or some stress or anything happens, you don't like get time to actually think that, okay, I have to control my thoughts. You just overthink and things happen. And what actually helped me is journaling. I swear to God. Like, I love talking. I can talk, like, go on talking and talking and talking. But sometimes it's like, even when I talk, it's not enough the way I want to express myself. So I used to write down. I have literally 4 full journals written. Like, all my thoughts are written in that journal. And when I read them, I was like, damn, I was thinking this, I was overthinking this, and I wrote it down, and actually helped me calm my nervous system. So one suggestion, like, I would give, if you are struggling with your mental health, start journaling. It will really help you. And I swear to God, just get a plain notebook, and just write down your thoughts. It really helps. I swear to God, it helped me. I have been journaling since a very young age, and it has helped me. I used to journal, like, just write down about my day and something, and I didn't know, okay, this is something called journaling. I should just write. And now, like, when I became big, I was like, oh, this actually helps with my mental health and everything. So yeah, that's one thing. Another mental health, means all this traumatic thing is like, you start doing things. Like, I started journaling, and then I started going even mental health walks. It's so important just to go out in the nature and just take a walk. Even a 10-15 minutes walk has a great impact, because you're spending time out in the nature. Or even listening to music. I used to listen to music, like, during lockdown. Like, we were at home almost for 2 years. At that time, listening to music helped me, like, calm my overthinking. And yeah, I think even going for walks has helped me a lot with my mental health, because I know I'm free, I'm going out, I'm walking, I'm happy, I'm in the nature, I'm soaking in the sun and everything. And but still, like, there are stages in your life when, as you grow. Like, this was during my school time, but during my college time, like, my first, like, 11th and 12th was like full lockdown, like, sitting at home. I gained so much of weight, I had full acne on my face, and like, I had low self-esteem. I didn't want to go out because I was not confident in myself, because I thought I looked ugly, and I gained so much weight, and all those thoughts came in my mind. And at that time I didn't try to fix it. I just, like, suppressed it, and it started becoming more and more. But then when there was a point where, as I was at home after my exams and everything, I actually started focusing on myself. And that's when I actually started my self-love journey, in which I started focusing on, taking care of myself, taking care of my hair, my skin, my body, and everything. And when you love yourself and take care of yourself, everything gets back on track. Everything becomes perfect. I'm not saying like overnight, like, oh my god, I love myself and everything's gonna be all right. It's a process. You have to keep like loving yourself, being consistent in loving yourself, and in order to love yourself, you need to take actions. It's just not like getting a face mask and like, oh okay, I'm doing self-care. It's not it. Self-love is so much more than that. And it's not that if you're in a relationship you don't need to love yourself because you have someone who loves you. It's not like that. You have that love within you. You keep giving that love out to others. Why don't you give it to yourself? Keep loving yourself, and when you keep loving and taking care of yourself, you'll realize how amazing your life becomes, literally. And honestly, self-love has taught me so many things about myself. Now I know so much about myself, and I'm honestly doing so good in life because I know what I need and what I don't need, what makes me happy, what doesn't make me happy. What can I do to treat myself, to make myself happy. I know I can go for walk when I'm not feeling well, not doing well mentally, or I can write down my thoughts, or I can just dance, or get ready in good clothes and put on my makeup or do my skincare. All these things, like if I do all these things, I know I will feel happy and I'll feel good. So I learned all this through self-love, right? It's not someone told me do this and this will happen. It's not like that. Now I am telling you guys, it's like what worked out for me, but maybe for you guys something else may work out. You guys may have some other way to deal with your mental health issues or something. I'm just giving you my experience. And honestly, sometimes like I will talk about my college phase when again mental health hit. Like my bad mental health made me suffer so much that my grades went so low. Like at that time I became a villain in my story. Like I became a villain because like everything was going against me. I was like overthinking that everyone hates me and all my teachers hate me and this and that, and there was so many things going on in my life. I had nothing to like think about. I was like, I'm a villain, I'll become bad, I'll become I'll hate everyone, and I should think that everyone is bad, I don't care for anyone, this and that. But honestly, I'm not that. I'm a very sweet, loving and kind person, but I was trying to become someone else, and that fucked me up. Literally, everything went wrong because of it. And then I thought to myself, I am becoming someone who I'm not. See, if something is hurting me, something is making me sad or making me feel that I should become someone else, I just have to maintain boundaries, right? I don't have to change myself. I don't have to become rude or something. If I am a kind, loving person, then why should I become someone who I'm not, like a rude person, to protect myself? It's not like that, right? I can be kind and loving and still maintain boundaries and hope for things to be good. And that's what I did. First I was like all bad, on full rage, rebel mode. I hate everyone. I'm not talking to anyone because I'm the best, this, that, and that didn't work out to be good, honestly. But on the other hand, when I started maintaining boundaries and everything, things got better. And like you may think that you are handling your mental health and all, but sometimes some things happen, some traumatic events happen in your life, big shift and all this, and all that comes back. But you need to know that how to control it, because you have control all through your life. Like now when I think like, okay, when this happened with me in school, what did I do? When this happened with me in college, what did I do? And now it's like I have graduated, and if something like that happens with me in the future, I know what to do to control myself. I will not again go in full rage, rebel mode, yeah, I'm the best and I'm not going to do that, because now I know how to control my mental health and what steps I need to take to have a good mental health. And honestly, the answer is self-love for me, because when I love myself, I do things that make me happy. Everything is perfect, I swear to God. And so my whole podcast theme is based on self-love. I feel like the answer to everything is self-love, and focusing on yourself, becoming the best version of yourself. And when you start valuing yourself, you be like, yes, I can do it, I can take care of myself, I can achieve my goals, I can put in the effort, and while taking care of my mental health, everything is possible. So yeah, like, oh my god, now I should think that I will never be able to talk about my mental health, but when now I'm talking about it, because I have gone through it and I know how I went through it and how I've handled that mental trauma. So yeah, so if you guys have made it till the end, thank you for listening, and I hope this video helps you, and I hope if you are suffering with bad mental health, you are able to overcome it. I just want to say that, I mean, situations like this come in your life, but just don't give up. You know, you can make through it, and just love yourself. Everything will be all right. See you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.